Welcome geniuses, I'm Genie, your best buddy for A-levels. In this channel, we'll bring you to explore the secret formula behind success.
This question is from A2 topic 14, homeostasis, related to blood glucose regulation by the pancreas. So in my previous video, I actually discussed about a question on kidney, and now I'm going to focus on pancreas. So what is the role of pancreas in regulation of blood glucose concentration? We know that pancreas is actually an endocrine gland that is producing hormone, and they are involved in homeostasis. So what is the hormone that's produced? So we know that our blood glucose concentration needs to be maintained at a set point. So when there's a deviation in a set point, means if there's a rise, what will happen? If after eating, there's a rise in your blood glucose concentration, your endocrine tissue involved here will be beta cells of islets of Langerhans in the pancreas that will produce the hormone insulin, and the insulin will travel in the blood to the specific target tissue, which is the liver. So when it reaches the liver will be known as the effector that is going to carry out the response. So how is the liver involved in regulating blood glucose concentration? Or how does the liver respond to the signaling molecule, which is insulin? So number one, we know that the liver will increase the absorption of glucose. Number two, we know that in the liver cells, the glucose will be converted to glycogen to be stored. And number three, if you have excess in glucose, the glucose can be stored as fat. When all this happens, your blood glucose level will be returned to set point, and this is known as a negative feedback mechanism. So what happens if the opposite happens? So if the opposite happens, we will have fall in blood glucose concentration, where the endocrine tissue will be the alpha cells of the islets of Langerhans in the pancreas. So they will produce the hormone glucagon, where they always say that the effect of glucagon is antagonistic from the insulin, whereby it's opposite effect. So when it reaches the liver, the opposite effect here will be glucose will be released as glycogen will be broken down into glucose, and sometimes fat or protein is also converted into glucose. So all this glucose will be released into the blood and resulting in rise in blood glucose concentration. And this mechanism is also known as negative feedback mechanism. In the next question, they actually show you a graph about activity of two enzymes in the liver after consumption of glucose. So what is the role of glucose phosphorylase? This one, if you go into detail about the hormone glucagon, you will know that hormone glucagon will actually activate this enzyme to actually break down glycogen into glucose. Whereas glycogen synthetase, from the name itself, you can tell that it's under the influence of hormone insulin, where glucose will be converted to glycogen. So you will know that this will be the influence of insulin, where it's released when the blood glucose concentration is high, while the other one will be the effect of hormone glucagon, where this hormone is released when the blood glucose concentration decreases. So for this question, students are expected to describe the graph and explain the changes. So you are expected to know that when the activity of glycogen phosphorylase decreases, it shows that you no longer need the effect of glucagon. So showing that your blood glucose concentration is actually increasing, therefore more insulin is produced and more glycogen is synthesized, whereas the process of breaking down glycogen will continue to decrease. Therefore, the glycogen phosphorylase will continue to decrease while the activity of glycogen synthetase will continue to increase as more of the glucose needs to be converted to glycogen. For more understanding about this chapter, please read up on the activity of insulin and glucagon with reference to their cell signaling process, where you need to know in detail how the hormones binds to the receptor and triggers a series of response within the cell.
That's all for today's video. If you're interested in more genuine sharing by other geniuses, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to turn on the notification bell, ding dong. Also, if you're struggling with one or two past year questions and the mark scheme just doesn't seem to help, Genie has got you covered. Feel free to let us know what question it is by filling in the Google form linked in the description below. GenieUs Hub will get genius teachers to fulfill your request for the solution. Genie will see you next time. Bye-bye.